Like go.
I'm sitting here inside the church building. There are no services here today, and you know why. But the church is not closed, just the building. So we've had a nice morning of praying with the community as they come by, sharing palms, doing what the church is really all about in our community until we can do the other thing the church is all about and worship in a formal way. There are two things I'd like to share with you real quick that you need to remember in these days. And that is, first of all, that God is still on the throne and He's working all things together for good. And nothing that has happened to us can separate us from His love if our trust is in the Lord Jesus Christ, who died and gave His life for us and rose to bring life to us. And those promises are not going to change. And I am confident, and you can be too, that through your relationship with God, you know that He holds you. You won't die a day earlier than He's going to call you home. And you won't live a day longer either. For us who believe, to live is Christ, to die is gain. So that's number one. Trust God. He's got this. He's got this. And the second thing is to answer the question of what is God doing? I've lived what sometimes feels like a long time. I lived through the 60s in that mess. I lived through other messes, well known. I was a pastor in New York when the planes flew into the towers. I was a pastor in New York when we had to clean up after Hurricane Sandy. And now I'm a pastor here in Philadelphia when we're hunkering down to stay safe at home. And in all these things, I remember people saying, why isn't God doing this and why isn't God doing that? Well, God is always doing. And some of what He's doing is teaching us His love, so that the other thing I want to remind you of can be fulfilled, that we can show compassion to people and tell them how God got us through and give them the comfort that God has given to us in these days. So you may not feel like you can do a lot of that stuck home, but there's this old device that goes back to when I was in childhood and we used to have to stick our finger in it. It's a phone. Call people you know, people you care about, and share your peace and share your joy in God with them, and pray for them and let them know that they can call you anytime when they feel lonely, when they're concerned, when they have a need. You may find that some relatives and friends are more open to God's ministry than they've ever been before. Let's not waste the moment. Hope to see you soon on Van Kirk Street, but in the meantime, our number is 215-743-3751. Call, maybe you'll get me, maybe you'll have to leave a message, but I'll get back to you. And I'll pray with you and do whatever I can to help you. Okay, goodbye.